In December of 1921, a routine traffic stop in downtown Los Angeles turned into a nightmare that would change how the LAPD handled suspects forever. Late on the night of December 6th, 30-year-old patrolman Harry Levi Clester and his partner patrolman William L. Brett pulled over a car packed with suspicious men, 6 of them crammed inside. The men matched the kind of burglary suspects officers were dealing with constantly in that era, so Brett and Clester decided to take them in for questioning at Central Station. This was the 1920s, no radios in the cars, no quick way to call for backup. It was actually standard practice back then for officers who were outnumbered to make the suspects drive their own car to the station, while the officer either rode with them or followed behind. So that's what they did. One officer, most sources say Harry, got into the suspect's car to ride along. The other followed behind in the police car. Somewhere on that dark drive towards Central Station, one of the men in the suspect's cars pulled a hidden gun. In the confined space of the moving car, he opened fire, striking the officer riding with them. The car kept going, but now there was a wounded officer slumped inside. Seeing something was wrong, the second patrolman stopped his police car and got out to help, probably thinking there had been a crash or medical emergency. Instead, as he approached, the suspects turned their gun on him too. Both officers were shot and would not survive their wounds. Within an hour of the fatal shooting, the city erupted. Officers fled their posts, grabbed their guns, and rushed to headquarters. A massive manhunt began, in what became the largest manhunt in Los Angeles history at the time. At least 1,500 men, police, deputies, and citizens all searching for the killers. Public and private garages were searched. Every suspicious car, every known bootlegger or criminal in the region was questioned. The city government even approved a $15,000 reward for any tips leading to the killers' arrests. Days later, investigators got their break. A tip from a restaurant employee led police to an apartment downtown, and ultimately to 7 arrests. 4 men from that group were believed to have been the suspects in the car that night. The others were held as material witnesses. But the man who may have fired the fatal shots, one of the occupants of the car, fled. He was tracked to a remote shack near Ash Fork, Arizona. As officers surrounded the shack, the suspect turned the gun on himself. He shot himself 4 times in the abdomen. He died en route to Los Angeles, but not before confessing and naming the 2 men who had fired the fatal shots. The remaining men, all 4 believed to have been in the car, were charged with first-degree murder. The 2 who pulled the trigger were eventually sentenced to death and hanged. The other 2 got consecutive life sentences. Meanwhile, the city mourned. Clester left behind a wife, a 6-year-old son, and a 2-year-old daughter. Brett left a wife and 2 sons. According to historical accounts, during the trial of the defendants, Clester's wife, overcome by grief, fainted in the courtroom when the details of that terrible night were recounted. However, both women felt that justice was served by the time the trial ended. Today, Harry and William are remembered for their bravery and sacrifice to keep